We welcome to the Only Fools and Horses podcast Steve Fortune, who's in the Chain Gang. So, Steve, tell us about your role in that iconic Only Fools and Horses episode.
It's really weird, it's something in 1986. I think I filmed it. It was a day's work. Obviously, at the time, I hadn't done much telly at all. I mean, my background really is musical theatre, and at the time, this sort of part came in, and really, I think at that point, I knew, there'd been five series prior to that, so knew it was popular, loved it myself, but I didn't have any idea it was, going to be the iconic comedy series that it's become, and that I certainly had no idea that kind of 40 years later, I'd still be watching it and talking about it to people. It was, as I say, it was a day's work. It was a fun day's work. It was, we were on location. I remember we did one of the ambulance scenes first, and then we were in the restaurant, and then we were outside with the ambulance, and that scene then with Paul Barber, and then sort of towards the end. So it was quite a long day. I was racking my brain, but it definitely was only a day's work, and it was, but it was fantastic. It was great fun, and of course, it's still out there now. Although it's one of those things that when you're watching yourself as what was I then, 20-year-old, no, 28. I think I was 28 years old or something then. It's kind of weird with dark hair and all of that. A few stone lighter too.
Yeah, you were one of Arnie's sons, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right. I was Gary, and the other guy, I think the character name was Steve. So it was Gary and Steve, and I mean, it's an interesting story how I even got the part, because it was one of those situations in television. I'd been up for a series called The River, which David Essex was in, and I was in to play his best friend, and I went along. The first interview went really well, and then I was invited back, and I was given about 4 different scripts to read, and there was a room full of people, and you walk into this room, and there was Susie Belbin, who was the director and who'd done an awful lot of comedy, and 2 other people in the room, one of whom was Tony Dow, the director. I had no idea at the time. He was her production manager, I believe. And fast forward a couple of years, and I was writing out spec letters to people, and I wrote one to him for Fools and Horses, and suddenly, he called me in. I got the part, and he remembered me from that interview. So so it was a nice day's work, and glad I did it. Really glad.
Did you meet all the cast, Steve? Because I know the first ambulance scene, you've got Mike's, is an XR3i red, XR3i and Del Boy's van. Were you around? Because it looks like you're close by, or were you in a different sort of?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, you say meet. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure we said hello, but I mean, David, Jason, and
Nick Lyndhurst.
Nick Lyndhurst were there. You say hello, but obviously, it's a lot packed into a day. So you get on, and then I think, so not really. I mean, obviously, some of the guys in, like Paul Barber and things, are sort of a bit of a chat with. But no, not. I mean, you do, but you don't, if you know what I mean. There's no, unfortunately, by that time, even, it was a rehearsed record on the day. There was none of that. I think a few years prior to that, if you were lucky enough to do a rehearsal and then the day, but on that it was all rolling so fast. So you just turned up and did your gig and went home again.
Yeah, because by that time it was filmed in Bristol, wasn't it? But these scenes were still in London, I think, weren't they? Was it Hammersmith?
Gosh, well done. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know more than me, I think, probably. I know I've probably, got to, you see, they probably, I would imagine pretty much back then, they would have sent a car for me, and I lived in South East London at the time, so they'd have sent a car, picked me up, and that would have been it, really. You know, taken there, filmed it, and come home again at night. You know.
Yeah, I think it was Hamlet Gardens in Hammersmith. The scene where we'll wait for Dad or whatever you were saying there, and then the restaurant. Where was that? I've got it down as King Street, the restaurant, Tandoori restaurant.
Yeah, I do. I do know. I remember that the restaurant was in a normal street, and I knew somebody who, I think I met somebody a little while later who knew that restaurant really well. Obviously, they changed the name and everything. But yeah, so that was it was somewhere in sort of West London or Southwest London, I think, as a lot of things were in those days because of where the BBC was. You know, didn't go far from there.
What an iconic episode to be in, though. It is actually one of my favourites. It's probably in my top 10.
Well, that is, and I never realised that, really. I mean, my favourites, obviously, there's the famous bar scene, you know, the fall into, I think it's fantastic. But I mean, I know within that series I think it's also got the, if I'm right in thinking, that's the one with the blow up dolls, which is hysterical. And you know, it was a great series. And interestingly enough, I mean, I hadn't realised, I was just the last theatre job I did a couple of years ago was The Mousetrap, and I was in it with Josephine Lloyd Wellcome, and Josephine was in that same series playing a doctor. I think maybe 2 or 3 episodes before, you know, we'd never met until I did that series, but it was quite interesting actually finding out that we'd both been in exactly the same series but just different episodes, you know.
Yes, we've spoken to her as well on the podcast. That was good.
Yeah, I think she's done a couple of your events as well, or at least one event. So she's lovely. She's absolutely adorable.
Not our events, but the Appreciation Society. Yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
I did meet. Yeah, I've got a nice photo with Jo. Yeah, I think it was last year, October last year. I think she was there. Yeah, nice lady. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. She's great fun. We in the Mousetrap. There's like 3 older characters, and we were all on one floor of dressing rooms, and then sort of some younger ones down below, and so the 3 of us had quite a laugh. She was brilliant. Yeah, she's lovely lady.
Do you have any scripts or props or costumes from your time on the show at all, Steve?
Well, I did, but actually a few years ago I met, please forgive me, he's a member of the Appreciation Society, and I can't remember his name. He lived in, I think
Harry, perhaps?
I can't remember his name, but he came to see me in pantomime. I was doing pantomime in Gravesend, and he came to see me, saw me afterwards, and told me he was a big fan of the show, and he had a few books for me to sign, some pictures. And then I went back, and I was just clearing through things, and I had my script from the series, and so because he'd said to me, if you've got anything, I just approached him and said, look, are you interested in buying this? And he was, and you know, and he was very happy to get it. So I finally, I mean, you know, it's that thing that you keep them, and then you go, well, what's going to happen to them, really? You know, and also, although it doesn't seem like it, you know, these series wanes, and you've ended up with it. Still, I've actually got the if there are any Birds of a Feather fans out there, I've actually got the first script of Birds of a Feather, the very first episode, because I played a policeman in that. So so I've got that kicking around at the moment.
Yeah, that was a big show. I used to watch that. Yeah, it was a big show, that wasn't it? Did quite a few series of that. Yeah.
Wasn't that French and Saunders, or am I getting mixed up?
No, that was Pauline Quirk and
Linda. Is it Linda?
Linda. Yeah.
I'm getting them mixed up, but I'm sure I watched both shows back in the
Birds of a Feather. Yeah, you almost certainly have the two sisters who share a house, and they've got their neighbour Doreen across the way that's always in trouble. Their husbands are in prison, and I was actually one of the uniform police that pulls over their husbands in the very first episode, and then they get nicked. Very, very small part, one line, but yeah, fun to do.
The Chain Gang, was you driving the ambulance, or was that your other brother?
I was driving.
Yeah.
Yes, I was in the driving seat, put it that way.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm sure you say the line, "Did you know the deceased very well?"
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So, very non-PC in today's
yeah.
world,
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, it was.
It's funny. Obviously, you're not kind of at the other end of the phone, but when Del answers the phone, yes, I knew the deceased very well. Obviously, it's yourself, isn't it, or your other brother phoning them? Yeah.
I mean, it's a great idea of it. The idea that they're getting away with this all the time, it's superb. The whole, well, as you guys are big fans. I mean, it's superbly written. John Sullivan was a genius and a master of it. The scripts are superb, and of course, the main actors deliver it fantastically. And the fact is, that when you're still hearing lines from it now, in everyday life, and things like Trigger's broom become part of the world. It's brilliant, fantastic.
And in terms of scams, I think this and the Cash and Curry episode, do you reckon, Chris? Probably the best.
Similar scams, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
You don't see it coming, to be fair, do you?
No, it was. That's the thing. The twist was quite good at the end, wasn't it? Always that one of Del's schemes is going to get wrong. Going to go wrong. He's never, his get rich thing never happens. But it's going to go wrong. But yeah, actually, it's quite funny that you do, and then you go, oh right, you sort of think it's legit.
Well, I think you probably led up the garden path that the jewellery's fake, don't you? Supposed to start with.
Yes.
But then when they go the jewellers and it's the real thing, then you're almost Oh, it's a real deal. This.
Yeah, definitely.
They've even exchanged money at this point, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Yeah. Well, of course, that's the whole point, isn't it? Yeah, they've got the money, and he has the heart attack, and hopefully then gets away with it, and goes on to do it again.
Because he set the scene in the casino, hadn't he? About Maxi Stavros or someone like that, wasn't it? That wanted the gold chains. He's let me down. I'm gonna have to sell them half price now.
Yeah,
so then,
that's right. Yeah.
And then he rings the wife, doesn't he? And the wife says, "Hey, he's been on the phone. He wants them chains." And
but it is a life lesson, isn't it? It's that thing of, if it sounds too good to be true, it always is.
Well, and of course, that was the thing about Del Boy. He always, much as he was a scammer himself, he always fell. He wasn't a very good one, because he always fell for other people's scams. He was always trying to fiddle people, but it never really worked out for him, because he was too gullible himself, and anybody could sort of, can trick him into doing anything. And as happened there, he was always so keen to make it, or to do a big deal, and to do that, he didn't really, nowadays you call it due diligence, I suppose, but he just didn't. He didn't put the effort in, and he always ended up, bless him, at the wrong end of it.
How did John Sullivan come by the ambulances, Steve? How did he get them? Do you ever remember the story with that? Or
no, not at all.
That would probably be the production manager, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I guess he wrote this idea, and they go and source it all. They would get everything in place. I don't know. I mean, the BBC, even more so than now, then was a massive machine. With costume props, everything. It was huge, So, and it was a lovely team as well. Lovely people on that went on in those days. Like Tony Dow did, went on to do other things, moved up, went into being producers and directors and everything. So it was fabulous.
Yeah. Do you remember much about Sullivan at the time, Steve? Did you get to do with John Sullivan, the writer, at all? Or?
Not at all. No,
No.
I don't even. I don't remember him being on set. If he was, I wasn't. Yeah, there was no communication. I don't, and because actually because I'd already met Tony at this other thing, I didn't actually get called in for an audition for it. I think I just was offered the job.
We've heard that a lot.
There wasn't that thing where I might have met him at the audition, but no, I just I was just booked for it. So yeah, it probably sounds quite random, and it sort of felt it at the time, really. I mean, I was trying to get on with my career. I was quite young, as I said. I was doing musical theatre and trying to get in to do more television, which it was, as it is today, still difficult. And so each little step, you think you're one step closer. Sadly, I never got that much closer, but hey ho, they're good things to have been part of, definitely.
Did you ever cross paths with the other actor at all that played Stephen?
No, never ever. No, I mean we'd never met before that day, so we got on fine on the day. But you go off, you go back to normal life, and you never see each other unless you're lucky and your paths cross again on another job.
Yeah, you don't know if he might have not been an actor after that. He might have.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've no idea at all. I mean, he could well still be in the business, or he could have retired. Packed it in long ago. No idea.
But it is amazing to be a part of even just one episode, isn't it? I mean, we talked to lots of people who have acted in Only Fools and Horses. Sometimes just one scene, one role. Sometimes whole series. Sometimes whole episodes. But it is amazing, isn't it? Because after all these years, people are still fascinated by it. People still love it. The fandom is huge.
Absolutely, I'm so proud. I mean, I am. As I say, it was sort of random by nature getting it in a way, and random doing it. But I am so proud, and it's been the fact, as I say, the fact that something I did all that time ago and literally was one day out of my career is still going now, and has been shown. I mean, I literally get small residual payments for worldwide sales, and the places that this show hasn't been. I mean, if I had a map, and sort of probably it'd be pins everywhere, because it's been shown in every country in the world, and it's amazing. It's got such a following, and as you say here, and like Chris said about that line. I mean, I've had conversation with people where it comes up and you say, oh yeah, I was in Fools and Horses, and then I say the episode, and I played Gary, and I've had a couple of people say that line to me, that they know it so well that they know my one line from it, which is incredibly flattering, and but really flattering for the series, because of course that's how much it means to people and how iconic it is, that people really really love it.
Yeah.
You get recognised a bit, sorry, Steve, do you? Still, like, for the role, someone will bump into you and say, were you in Fools and Horses?
Yeah, well, as I say, only they don't recognise me as such, but if it came up in conversation, but also, I mean, I was working with a guy, I was doing a job a few years ago, I was directing a show, a panto at Butlins, and one of the redcoats there, Jake, is a big fan of the show, and Jake knew every episode, and he knew my line, and knew all about it, and as we started, he went, oh God, you're in this, and and when I was doing the Mousetrap, at Stage Door, quite often there would be fans of the show outside with with books, with pictures to sign, and they knew everything about it, absolutely did, and and of course, because Josephine was in it as well, so they were, it's the two of us. But
right,
I remember Gwyneth Strong was in Mousetrap, but it must have been a different.
No, she was actually in the tour. just before the West End. Because the interesting thing is, my son is also an actor now, and he was in the tour with Gwyneth, and then he came into the West End production, and I was working with him. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to. I've never met her, but obviously at the event, it'll be nice to say hi and introduce myself, really, because yeah, she worked with Jack.
And speaking about theatre shows, I think Tessa Pete Jones and Cassandra did a show together, didn't they? I believe a theatre show.
Did they? I don't know. Yes, probably. I mean, they both.
I think it was a play. I don't think it was a musical. Or,
they both had quite good careers,
strong.
And I think, I think they could well have appeared together. They've done a lot of, both of them have done a lot of work, both before and since, I think. But yeah, it'll be nice to actually meet them and say hi.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Tessa Pete Jones, is it Grantchester she's in, or she was in? Something like that.
Yeah, she's really good in it as well, actually. She's wonderful. So,
and I saw I don't know if anybody saw this. Chris, did you see this trailer? You might have seen it, and I noticed Tessa was in it, and it was kind of a funny story. It was like it was the neighbour was getting an extension on their house, and there's a murder over it. And she was in the trailer. Did you see that, Chris?
I've seen that. It was on about a year ago, was it? I've seen that series. I'm sure I have.
Yeah, it's the thing. I forget what it was called now, but it was about that. Yeah, it was about. Yeah, it was quite dark, wasn't it? I didn't actually watch the series, but I remember the. I
found it quite funny though because of what the subject was. Building an extention on a house.
Yeah.
It was recently I saw it, but it was on one of these apps, so maybe republicising it or whatever.
Yeah, there's a bird like got killed, wasn't there? They kept putting a bird in the garden and things or something, like a dead bird. I'm sure it was that. Yeah, but it's quite good. It's a bit of a dark comedy, I suppose, wasn't it? As well as a.
Oh, okay. I'll have to watch it now.
Yeah, it was quite good. Yeah, it was quite good. Tell us about the convention then, Steve. When is it and where?
It's in. You've got me now. It's in May, and May the 10th, I believe, 10th and 11th, and it's in Milton Keynes at the Hilton DoubleTree Hotel, I believe, and my first one. So it's it'll be very interesting to go there and meet people. I mean, I was invited very kindly a couple of years ago, and I have to say I turned it down because I felt I was actually would have felt a bit of a fraud having only done one day and one line. I really didn't think. I thought, well, it's very nice to be asked, but I honestly, and then I was, I got a lovely reply back saying, well, we understand, but actually we don't feel like that. And then I was approached again, this year, and saying, I know what you said. However, the fans would love to meet you. So, I'm sort of virtually retired now, living by the seaside up here in the northwest. So I thought, well, that'd be rather nice. It's something would be quite nice to do. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, actually.
Well, the other Chris can speak about this. He's been to quite a few of the conventions. The first one's always the best, though, isn't it, Chris?
Well, I think with my first one, I was lucky enough to meet Sir David as well. So that was the icing on the cake. So, yeah, it was great. I felt so nervous meeting him, though. I felt like a 10-year-old boy, meeting your hero. But I would say to that, Steve, I always think that if you're going to go another convention, you want to meet different actors, don't you? It's no disrespect. Once you've met some of the actors, you want to then go again and meet as many as you can, I suppose, don't you?
Oh, well, I do know that, for a lot of fans as well, I mean, I know there's a sort of desire to build up a kind of, to get autographs and pictures of every single person as bit, which is fantastic. I mean, phenomenal. Some of the things I've seen, some of the people I've met, who've got signatures from almost everybody that's ever been in it. And, and I know Josephine told me that, people have some quite unusual things like car bonnets that they get signed as well, and things like that. So, which is brilliant. It's fantastic. So it will be, yeah, it'll be really nice actually to meet the fans and meet the people, and also I noticed, I noticed you've got quite a sort of team there on the Sunday, well, and the Saturday, and David's there for both days, I noticed, and Tony Dow. So it's quite an event really, which it'll be fantastic.
The one person I don't think that's there this year that always goes, but she must be busy, Sue Holderness, Marley. I don't think she's there this year. She normally goes.
I got a feeling she's away in Malta, I heard.
Is she?
So that's the reason. Because she's always there otherwise.
I didn't see her on the. I noticed Roy Marsden is on the day I'm there. And Tessa's there.
Because we asked her, because we're going to be doing a Green Grass special with a couple of the actors, the spin-off of Only Fools and Horses, and we asked Sue if she'd like to be involved, but she said she's away in Malta, so that might be the reason.
Oh, right. Well, actually, yes, because she's in. She is in the Madame Blanc mysteries, and they film in Malta, so that's probably what she's doing there.
That rings a
bell. It's meant to be the south of France, but they film it in Malta, or it's meant to be France somewhere. Yeah, so that's what she'll be doing more than likely, is filming, unless she's moved out there to enjoy the weather.
Anybody been to Malta before? I've been. It's quite nice, actually. Valletta.
I haven't. No, my son went. Son went when he was young. He loved it, but I've never been.
It's a very short flight. It's like 2 hours and a half. It's like before you get. It's an island off of Italy, I believe.
Yeah.
And very very nice place.
Yeah.
You sound like Bunchy then. Have you ever been to the Seychelles?
Malta is not the Seychelles, but it is very nice.
And also, the Seychelles is a much longer flight.
A
long,
long time.
4 hours is about the limit now. I don't want 6 or 8 hour flights. No.
That's where my granddad lived, actually, the Seychelles.
Oh, really?
He was a horticulturalist. He used to grow flowers for all the hotels out there, and
Oh, wow.
I never met him, but I know a bit about him.
Yeah, lovely.
I was just looking at your cast. I know you mentioned Roy Marsden, Driscoll brothers, and the other brother, Christopher Ryan. He was in The Young Ones, wasn't he? He's there on the Sunday. Lennox Gilby.
Yeah, Vass Blackwood. That's a really good one.
Yeah, Vass Blackwood, Raquel and Cassandra, as you said. Alan Perkins, he was in Series 6 as well, wasn't he? And the unlucky winner is the travel rep.
Oh, wow.
And
your knowledge is phenomenal. You guys, you really know. I mean, I watch it, and I've probably watched a few of them, but my goodness, I'm looking at your lovely backdrop there.
Chris has got everything.
It's quite a collection.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if it's a collection or an illness. I'm not sure, Steve. To be fair, but I've got quite a bit. Yeah.
How long have you been collecting then?
Probably about 30 years, I would say. Probably started when the last when they won the millions. When it sold the watch. Yeah.
96, wasn't it? 97.
Yeah, 96, 97. Yeah, I think.
Wow.
As things have gone on, though, I blame Perry a lot of it, because he keeps bringing out these different memorabilia things, doesn't he? That I have to keep buying. You can buy anything you wish for, you can buy. Really, yeah.
What's your most treasured possession? What's your most treasured?
I'm going to shock Chris now. I had a trotter van, but I've sold it.
What?
Oh,
I know. Why have you sold it? Did you get a good deal?
money as much as anything. So that would be my most treasured possession. But I think now I do have a soft spot for the cookie jar. I've got 4 of them. You know where he stores his cigars?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got. I don't know if you see that on the bar there. There's one there. Yeah. or the bar itself, really, from the flat. And then I've got the curtain. So I don't.
Is that that's the original bar? Is it?
What it's the same bar. Yes, what the same bar as he has. To be fair, his bars do. They change over the years, because I think the idea is that the wheeler dealers will sell anything, won't they? So they'll sell one bar and get another one,
Well, and they were very much as well reflecting the time, wasn't it? It's very interesting, that sort of yuppie time, of 1980s, when Thatcher's Britain, everybody was, was
by
on
the facts.
And, yeah, exactly. He had all of those things. It really did reflect what was going on in the UK at the time. You know, it was everybody walked around with their file effects.
And I
thinking
think
they're
at
very
the
important.
convention, the lady who Del Boy chats up at the bar in that scene, Yuppie Love, um, where she says, he says, "How do you spell Harrods?" And then she replies, "Capital A." I think she's at the convention, isn't she? Chris, is she at it? I think she is.
She might be on the Saturday. I didn't see her on the Sunday, but yes, she is actually.
I haven't
She is.
seen her at the convention before, so
I could picture her on the Saturday now. She is there on the Saturday. You're quite
Oh,
right.
wow.
Yeah. And then he says, "Beam me up, Snotty," doesn't he? Then,
yeah.
oh, beam me up, Snotty. Yeah,
Yeah.
But I must admit, I've said it many times, Steve. I think it's the best series 6. Yeah.
I do think. I mean, and I'm slightly biased, but I think Tony Dow really kind of, as a director on it, I think he really, did some wonderful. He had a great experience, previous experience in comedy, working with people like Susie. And I mean, I think, she was back on things like Porridge and stuff like that. She had a real, and I think he had absorbed all that being part of it, and then with his own mind. And he was a brilliant director. And when you watch his scenes, they're superbly shot. They're brilliant. I mean, I believe he did the Batman and Robin Christmas special as well.
Mm.
I mean, it's just incredible that he really, and that's why it's still being shown now. I think that's why people still love it, because it's such a clever series.
We recreated that scene in Bristol. We went on the Only Fools and Horses tour, and halfway through the tour, you get to dress up as Batman and Robin and run down the same street. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet. It's just so clever, isn't it, though, with the smoke and everything, and I was watching it again recently, and because the young girl who is one of the gang, I mean, she's gone on to be quite a famous, well-known actress, and I mean, again, there's probably a lot of that in it. People who had very small parts have gone on to do a hell of a lot in their career, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, Shelley Murphy, Emmerdale, I think, was a big role, wasn't it? She Trisha in Emmerdale, yeah. Married Marlon. I think she tragically passed away in the soap, but they all go the same way, I think, don't they, in Soapland?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Blown up by a plane crash.
We spoke to Angela Murray, though. That was good. Sorry, not Angela Murray. What's her name? Councillor Murray. Angela Bruce.
Yeah.
Angela Bruce, yeah. That was good, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, the Batman and Robin one, they had to keep that under wraps for Christmas, didn't they? I know Tony Dow says they had to hide him in a coach or a van or something, and then, right, take, and then they ran out, didn't they? And then they had to go back in the van. They didn't want the press to get hold of the episode before.
Oh, yeah, well, of course, I mean, yeah, that's right. People were so, keen to find out. I mean, I dread... I mean, these things, what they would be like now would be interesting because, obviously that was pre-mobile phones and mobile cameras and everything. So, if people did see you, they didn't necessarily have a camera with them. Whereas, everybody nowadays, if you were trying to film, I mean, even like our day, it was quite a busy sort of area. So everybody would have been there, I think, with their mobile phones wanting to take selfies, and it must be much harder now doing things like that, definitely.
Yeah. We've got 5 minutes to go, so just a few more questions. What's your favourite episode of Only Fools and Horses, do you think? I guess you used to watch it back in the day?
I did, and I don't know them anywhere near as well as you guys, but I do think that I think the one with the inflatable dolls and all that's gone on before that, I think is hysterical. As I say, that the moments I remember more than the falling through the bar is a classic moment of comedy, and I think the Christmas specials, particularly that Batman and Robin one, just because it's just so brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I think you've said that before, Chris. People remember the moments more, don't they, than the actual episodes, or it's like
I think so. I mean, obviously, true fans like yourselves watch it and probably and know so much about it. But I I mean, they're always on, and I've watched so many of them more than once. And you don't really, but you do remember those moments. And of course, the characters, you know, the fantastic people, you know, Granddad and Uncle, and, you know, some of Nick Lyndhurst's lines over the years, some of the, you know, his brilliant delivery as well. It's absolutely superb, you know.
It depends how in depth you want to look at it, really, because my dad loves the show. But sometimes he's a bit like, oh, well, that happened. And I'm like, no, that didn't. But it doesn't matter because
No.
you're there for the laughs, aren't you? At the end of the day.
Yeah, it's entertainment, which is, you know, what it was did so well. You know, it was primetime entertainment, but it was, you know, the whole family, people loved it, and still do. I mean, that's what I say. The fact that it's, you know, it's still being shown somewhere at some point on probably any given day. You know, there's one of the channels or somewhere where you'll be watching it, and that is amazing. As I say, if you'd have said to me back in 1996 that, you know, I would be sitting here 40 years later still talking about it, I'd have been, you know,
Laughing.
I'd have been absolutely amazed. You know, and yeah, it's incredible, really. Absolutely incredible, really.
I've noticed your Del Boy bobblehead in the background. Is that? Yeah, I can see him. Chris,
Yeah.
have you got any of them?
I've got a few, Chris. You see him
I
on
couldn't
there.
resist. Well, it was actually my wife bought me that at Christmas time, because we kept going into I think it was Home Bargains, and I just
Mhm.
I said, that is incredible. It's just really funny. And she then thought, oh, that's great, I'll give him that for Christmas. I think that's the only piece of Fools and Horses memorabilia I've got. But yeah, I love him. It's very funny.
They've created so many of those bobbleheads. I've got quite a few collections. They keep bringing out new, like they've done a Jolly Boys outing, or they're bringing a Jolly Boys outing set, and you have to keep collecting, don't you? That's the thing. Yeah. It's costing me a fortune.
That's going to be our next weekend away, me and Chris, because we did the Bristol tour. The next one we're going to do, they're doing a Jolly Boys outing of Margate, where they go to all the locations. So that's our next one we're going to do.
Oh wow, brilliant!
Yeah, it'd be good that.
Where are you? Are you guys based in London, or are you?
I'm based in West Sussex, and
Right.
yeah, Chris.
I'm not far from you, because when you mentioned the Northwest, I'm in Crewe, so I might be reasonably near to you, Steve.
All right, I'm in Leather St Anne's now.
St Anne's, yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blackpool way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
Emily, in fact, Emily's from Blackpool, isn't she, Chris? Our other colleague.
Yes, she's from Blackpool. Yeah,
She'll be down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. And are you near Chichester then, Chris? Or
I live in East Grinstead, but no one ever
Oh,
knows where that
right.
is. So I say West
Oh, yeah.
Sussex.
Yeah,
Near-
I know, yeah.
It's not too far away from London if you hop on the train.
Yeah,
it's
no,
about
I know,
half an hour,
yeah,
40
yeah.
minutes. So
yeah.
yeah, but my dad's a Londoner as well, so I've
Is
got
he?
that connection to the show. I like to think anyway. Well, it's been lovely to speak to you. Sorry, we've run out of
You,
time now.
Chris, I'm sorry I was a little bit
fun.
late, but I'm glad we glad it worked in the end.
No problem. Yeah, sorted. Pleasure speaking to you, Steve.
Nice to. And will you be at the event or?
I'm not at the moment. Never say never, but I'm not at the moment going this year.
Right.
But hopefully you'll go. And if I don't, I'm definitely going to go another one. So hopefully, if I don't meet you this time, I'll meet you another time.
Yeah, very nice to have met you and talked to you and see your fantastic rooms. Brilliant.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.